This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated with true crime stories of insurance fraud. This number 14 is called Don't Sweat the Small Fraud. I present these videos so you can learn how insurance fraud is perpetrated and what is necessary to deter or defeat insurance fraud. This video blog of true crime stories of insurance fraud, with the names and places changed to protect the guilty, are based upon investigations conducted by me and fictionalized to create a learning environment for claims personnel, SIU investigators, insurers, police, and lawyers better understand insurance fraud and the weapons that are available that can be used to deter or defeat fraudulent insurance claims. In this story, where the insurance industry decided it was best to not sweat a small fraud, found that that was not a logical or good faith way to deal with insurance fraud. The claimant wore plastic-framed eyeglasses with thick lenses. He literally fell into a life of insurance, crime, and fraud. One day the claimant was walking past a fine restaurant when he accidentally fell and broke the frames of his glasses. The manager saw him fall. She rushed out, helped him to his feet, and checked his physical condition. He thought he was uninjured, but the frames of his glasses had broken at the bridge. The restaurant manager, fearful of a lawsuit, offered him lunch on the house and asked the cost of the frames. When he told her $80, she went to the register and brought him 4 crisp $20 bills. The claimant could not believe his good fortune. It was so easy. From that day on, he made a good living from many small frauds. His method was simple and unique at the time. No particular individual was severely harmed by his fraud. Wherever he went, he carried with him the broken pair of eyeglasses. He would walk into a restaurant in an area far from where he lived. He would hold his broken glasses in one hand and walk up to the cashier squinting. He would say, "I tripped over your carpet, fell and broke the frames of my glasses. They cost $80. One of two things would always happen. One, a manager of the restaurant would take 4 $20 bills out of the cash register, apologize, buy the claimant lunch, and send him on his way. Or 2, the manager took a formal report for the restaurant's insurance company, who eventually would pay the $80, rather than investigate or fight an insurance claim. In either event, the claimant would profess he only wanted the replacement of his glasses. He told the manager or the adjuster for the restaurant's insurance company that he would forget any possible personal injuries he may have suffered. If they did not pay him on the spot, an insurance adjuster would issue a check instantly. No adjuster would take a chance on a lawsuit if he could settle a claim for $80. The claimant would stop and collect his $80 in 5 to 7 restaurants a day. He would seldom buy a meal. He would also own a small portable typewriter. Remember typewriters? He would use a small portable typewriter, write letters to various restaurants, and offer businesses whose names and addresses he got from the telephone book. And he would simply say in his letter, "I tripped and fell in your lobby and broke the frames of my glasses, encloses a bill from my doctor for replacement. Please send me your check for $80. He would send out 20 such letters a day to businesses at random. At least 5 would merely send him an $80 check in the return mail. They didn't want to hurt their insurance claims record with a small $80 claim. With his earnings, all of which were tax-free, the claimant bought a 3-bedroom condominium on the west side of town. He furnished the condo with fine furniture, original art, and a few antiques. Soon he was driving a new Tesla, all-electric roadster. He eventually bought a word processor. He used it with a mailing list he purchased from a credit card company of all its vendors to send out mass mailings of his $80 demand. On good days, he would receive 10 to 20 $80 checks from varying businesses. He quickly used up the businesses in his community, sold his condominium, and bought a motor home to replace the Tesla. He moved from city to city, staying in no location more than 60 days. He would still be doing the multiple frauds if he had learned to spell. His letters always misspelled the word frames as frams, F-R-A-M-S. This misspelling lent a certain amount of credibility to the claims he was presenting. However, one bright adjuster about to write his 5th check for broken glasses frams remembered that the 4 other claimants that he had paid with different names misspelled frames the same way. He refused to pay. He reported the scheme to the local police and the Insurance Fraud Bureau. Neither showed any interest in such a petty theft. They refused to prosecute. They even refused to investigate to determine whether they should prosecute. The reported fraud was just too small to expend the effort and funds to investigate. The claimant left that city quickly. Unfortunately, the claimant's Achilles heel cut into his profits. The adjuster spread the word to all adjusters he knew, put out an alert on LinkedIn and several insurance and investigation discussion groups to watch out for the broken frams. The claimant's cash flow from insurers dwindled. Somewhere in North Dakota or Kansas, the claimant is still making a healthy living by reporting to honest business people that he had broken the frames of his glasses. $80 seemed a small amount to avoid a lawsuit. The claimant, with multiple $80 claims, would average in the 2 months he would limit himself to any community $2,500 a day. His collections were either in person or by mail. He almost never bought a meal. He was small stuff, and no one wanted to bother with him, yet he stole in his own small way more than $600,000 a year. He took long vacations from his job. He stayed in the best resorts. He lived the good life because an $80 fraud is just too small to bother businesses, insurers, police, and fraud investigators. This video was adapted from my book, Insurance Fraud Costs Everyone, available as both a Kindle book and a paperback from Amazon.com. Please buy the book, learn about insurance fraud, and don't let even the small stuff go by the wayside. Thank you for your attention.